I mean, I don't even know if you can answer this. This is something that just came into my mind now.
Okay.
I was having a debate with someone. What's day today? Tuesday. So Friday, a few days ago. And I was saying like it's easy to message like your friends or like random girls, oh, let's link up. But it's always been a challenge for me individually to message a guy that I haven't seen in months and be like, oh yeah, let's hang out. And we were talking about specifically for the lockdown how it's hard to see people now.
Yeah.
Have you got any experience where it's like some guy you haven't spoken to in a month, you just be like, oh yo, let's get coffee sometime or let's go play football sometime?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. So, and that's what social media is quite mad these days because when you're posting and you have people, on your Facebook, on your Facebook, on your Instagram that you haven't seen in years, but they're still there and they're seeing, they're seeing you, grow and just seeing what you're up to. And yeah, I've definitely had a few messages here and there. I think the other party was the one that started it, but he just messaged me and was like, yo, it'd be really cool to, hang out, catch up sometime. And I was like, yeah, I met him. And it was jokes, man. He was a really nice guy. And I think that's also just a good social skill to have, to just be able to meet someone, that you barely know or like used to know very well and be able to just come back and just kind of build from the start again. And since he has asked me to link him, I'm not afraid to just be like, hey, yo, it's been a long time. Like, let's do something. Let's chill because, everyone, we're just people at the end of the day. Like, it's calm, really. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But yeah, what about you? Are you still like, do you feel like nervous or do you feel?
No, I mean for me it's kind of easy in like in the boat I'm in because also I can be like, oh, I've been working on this video. What do you think about X? Or
Oh
come
yeah,
on my podcast talk about Y. But before that, it's very much been like I haven't seen this guy in 2 months. I
yeah,
have no idea. It's only because you mentioned like how when you're going through mental health issues, like you spoke to people about it, and I feel
yeah,
like a lot of people kind of struggle to really make that initial jump, I guess, and talk about their issues because you never know how to do it. And
yeah,
yeah, I've always, up until up until uni, I guess, been like, how do you start these sorts of conversations? Because there's a invisible barrier there between, when someone asks how you're doing, no matter how you are actually doing, you all say, yeah, I'm good. What about you? And that whole facade.
I think it's pretty. I think you just got to not be afraid to kind of break the barrier. Just kind of. Do you mean like ask? So if you're asking someone who has, who someone you think is struggling, I think it's important to just tell them you're there if you need it, because sometimes if they might not want to open up to you, but the fact that they hear, like from personal experience, the fact that you hear someone say that if you do need me, I am here, um, that goes a long way. You might not see the results of that straight away because they might not tell you, they might not speak to you even ever, but the fact that you've said that to them is definitely supportive and definitely something that's very encouraging for someone to hear. I remember once, like after that first term in third year when I had the neck thing and the leg thing, I went home, had a like sick birthday over that Christmas, and I posted it. I was like, okay, mental health's been a bit mad right now. Thank you everyone that kind of like helped me. Hopefully we're going to smash these exams kind of thing. And then someone I haven't spoke to since like secondary school messaged me. It's like, yo, I think it's really cool you're talking about that so openly. Here if you need. And I was like, you know what? Thank you, man. That's good to hear. And I don't think I've spoken to her much since then, but it's the fact that she said that is gassed. And so anytime I see someone else, maybe post something that's a bit, like, oh, they're struggling with the isolation and stuff, just it's just, you could say, how are you? And if they're, they're blunt, but you'll just say like, yeah, if you do need, notice you're a bit off, like, if you do need, I'm here in it, I'm here to talk. And it goes a long way, man. It really does. And I think people should be more open because that's often the problem most of the time. Because you don't want to feel like you're a burden on someone else. You don't want to feel like but you're not. You're just not. Like, there's more good people out there than bad, I like to think. And they would always be willing to help another human. So I think just the more people that are open about it, better it is for everyone.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah,
Because I feel like people do generally want to speak. Like people do want to talk about themselves or what they're going through. But it's almost like every time someone else says they don't want to talk, you kind of have to back that up, and everyone's reinforcing themselves in some way. But it just takes one person to be like, "Oh, how are you actually doing?" And then suddenly everyone's talking about all their, all their life, even if it's dumb, like "Oh, I'm a Spurs fan." It's
Yeah,
it
100%.
opens the barrier.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. Just be like, nah, but really, like, you're all right. Like, I think you can be, you don't have to be blunt about it yourself. You can just be straight up. But as long as you kind of word it correctly, I'm sure, there won't be any issues. So the fact that you asked is always the most important, you know,
Yeah,
and goes
yeah,
both ways. If you see someone, feel free to ask them, as much as you'd like to be asked, goes both ways.
very,
And
very
hopefully one
true.
day it's just a network where like everyone just is just so open about everything. We're all right.
What a
Yeah.
future to look forward to, man.
Yeah, man.
Do you feel like then you're maybe not lucky, but I guess how much do you appreciate your circle having gone through that sort of stuff, that you have people there that will constantly check up on you or see how you're doing, or that are always there for you?
Oh man, I couldn't thank them enough. Oh man, like how much do I appreciate them? There's not like an upper limit for that because as much as I was saying like, um, I'm the one that sat the exam, I'm the one that put in the work and got the grade. As much as that is true, the reason it all came to fruition is because of the people that kind of, just gave me a little push, like, keep going, just a bit more, just a bit more, just a bit more. You can do this to me, like, just keep going. And you can never be thankful enough. Like, even like my parents call me a lot. I text my mom every day. She's always like, because her English isn't very good, but her texting is so funny. Like, just a text from her would just make my day. But like, just stuff like that, man. It's just, and your friends, like, coming home after a bad day, having your flatmates there, or just having someone you can call. Yeah, you can never be thankful enough. And it just goes to show for anyone who thinks they need to ask someone, um, or like for anyone who wants to ask someone, sorry, you're not a burden on anyone. People will your friends will want to help you, and you're gonna like be so gassed to have them after you get through it, because you're all in it together at the end. No one wants anyone to get left behind. We want to make it together, you know what I mean? That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Very, very true, man.
for sure.
I clocked when you were saying that as well, because I had an interesting chat a little while back with one of my friends, and we were talking about, I don't know if you're familiar with the love languages.
Okay, what's that?
It's one of those like zodiac stupidness things, but it's like
Okay.
the idea is that people have a different capacities of like forming relationships, be it like physical contact or quality of time or giving gifts or saying nice things. And we were talking about how the friend making process in uni, well, that's kind of the first real time you have to make friends. Because when you're growing up, you're usually friends with whoever your parents are parents friends with. Like
Yeah, yeah,
your
or
mum
just
would
who
just be
you
like, "Oh,
happen
hang
to
out
be in
with."
class with. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then a lot of those friends in primary kind of follow through into secondary school. We were talking about how once you start uni, that's the first time like you're in a fresh environment. And
Yeah.
his argument was that your friendship group is purely luck at uni because it's based on your accommodation. Like, because I know that you've been with a few people since first year, like the whole 3 years of uni.
Yeah.
How would you um attribute that process to like actually making those friends, be it like societies or halls or just like
So I
sales?
I do think I was very, 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 very lucky in the sense that, however, my accommodation, whoever organised my accommodation, they put me with people that, like, just literally just like best friends for life, just straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And I think I'm very lucky for that. Um, and then it even got to a point where I was such good friends with them. I was like, what, I can't be asked to go to these societies, man. This is long. I can't be asked. Like, like these men are perfect. Like, I don't need to go to a society, but that's not the case for everyone. And I do think, you should bang out the societies, because another thing I should have done it on top of it. Just, you can never have too many friends, I don't think, or like you can never meet too many people, rather.
Okay.
So you definitely should. I think, especially like after second year, for example, I was like, okay, let me just go, like, meet some new people. Like, I'm just not feeling great. Went and joined like Bangla Society, went to an Asian Society thing, just went to different places, met more people through econ, and it's just a healthy thing to do. Just go and meet as many people as you can, because you're never going to be surrounded by that many people from that many different places. It's just mad. Like, I definitely go for it. But in my case, I was very lucky. Not everyone's that lucky. So I think either way, do it. Yeah, definitely. I didn't. I think that's probably one of my few regrets, is that not doing more societies earlier on. I probably should have. But yeah, because it's just, even if you don't meet nice people, like meet people you're gonna be friends with for life, it's just fun. Like, I went to like a Muay Thai thing in second year a few times,
Okay.
and not only did I meet a few people, I think I became close with Naveed there,
Mad.
and that's obviously that's where I met you, through him, and that's just how that's how the branch works, isn't it? It's just through society, through friend of a friend, and it just expands
Mm.
from there. So I definitely would never recommend against it. Definitely do it,
Yeah, yeah.
regardless of how good your existing friendship groups are. But yeah, how
Mm.
many did you go to, any societies or?
Um, like I'm part of a few, be it like
Yeah.
ACS or stuff like that, but I don't really go to many events, which I guess is a big hindrance on my uni experience so far. But yeah, I
Hmm.
completely agree because even like whether you have, quote unquote the best friends in the world or not, there's no harm in meeting new people. And even from
Exactly.
like a self benefit, perspective, you can meet someone who knows exactly what the next step should be for your career or like give you the perfect tip for your CV. Like you can never lose by going and trying more things, I feel like.
Exactly. Yeah.